Ms. Goins has asked me to share a quick tutorial of how you would make a Seesaw activity for a worksheet that you might normally copy on paper in Seesaw, and then how to share that same activity in Seesaw through Google Classroom. So I'm going to use an example that I work on occasionally, which is the Lexia Skill Builders. And I left off on level 13, this section on idioms. So I opened the Skill Builders folder that was shared by Misty Akerd to the Salem group, and I have that PDF opened. I got ready to print, and I want just the pages that has to do with idioms. I've discovered that some of these Skill Builder collections are too big. Seesaw activities should be 20 pages or less. So there are 5 pages on idioms. I'm going to print pages 17 through 21, but I'm not really going to print it. I'm going to save it as a PDF. So I'm going to click on Save as a PDF, and I want the pages just on idioms 17 to 21, and it will save those as a PDF on their own, separate. Oops, it'd be nice if I spelled idioms right, but we'll fix that later. Now I am in my Seesaw class, and I often start an activity like this with one that is already there. So I took a Seesaw collection of skill builders. I have a whole 48 of them at this point, and I did a copy of one of these. Instead of starting from scratch, I like to pick one that I've already made, not me, sorry about that. Pick the activity that I've already made, and then I do copy and edit. The reason I do that is that way I don't have to start all over with the directions and everything else. So here's one I have already copied and edited. So now this time I'm just going to edit the activity. And I've renamed it. I changed the directions a little bit, so I would click here to add voice directions. If you notice in the directions, there are some shortcuts. So if you're not familiar with the Seesaw Shortcuts collection, you might want to send me an email and I'll share them with you. But where it says colon, pen, colon, it'll take that word out and it'll put the actual picture in just a minute. When I'm ready for the student to add the student's page, add template for student responses, and then I'm going to upload a file, and I want to upload that PDF that I just saved. So in my downloads, I guess, yep, there it is. I have the Lexia Skill Builders 12, which is all the lessons in level 12, but I just want the one that says level 13 idioms. It'll bring in the pages in order, exactly the way they're shown. So now I have that template that the students would use. The problem is they're supposed to cut and paste from here. So it would be something I would change. I would go back to my skill builders, and I would use a Seesaw, a Seesaw shortcut to make some small images. I want just that right there, and I want it loose. So I'm going to use this Seesaw shortcut that I have, and it's going to capture just this one little section. And it's going to put it right into the page that I already have open. So I can resize this, and I can put it down here on top of the other one. This I would want to lock. It's already locked. This is unlocked. So they're supposed to be able to capture this and drag it wherever they were supposed to put it. That way I have a copy of it that's already cut out. And that Seesaw shortcut is just called Post to Seesaw. And if you need help downloading that, I can help you later. I'm going to pause this so I can get the rest of my pages in the order that I want and add some direction. Okay, I've added all the pages for my Seesaw assignment. A couple things I wanted to show you. When you use the Seesaw shortcut to do a screenshot from somewhere on the internet, it pulls in a link with the object that you copied. So you have to click on that object and then click on the 3 dots and click on link to erase that link. If I don't erase it, the kids can click on it and it would take them right back to this Lexia page, which is not a big problem, but it does sort of bother me that that link is there. The kids are going to think it's a link taking them somewhere helpful, and to me that would be a distraction. So if you click on the X and you erase the website URL, that link is gone from the side of those little pictures that I copied where the kids are supposed to move it. Now I used my text tool to type in some directions, and I left a space for something I want to add. I want to add an image of this little move tool, and I'm getting it from the Seesaw shortcut page. So I did a copy of this picture, and I've saved it to my drive, and now I'm going to upload that picture image of the move hand and put it as part of my directions. Make it small enough so it'll fit right here in the directions. Then I'm going to lock that image in place. Now I need to read these directions out loud. So I'm going to click back on the directions themselves, and using those 3 dots that appear, I'm going to voice record. Read the sentences, then use the move tool to move each of the meanings on the left to the correct sentence below. This is an improvement Seesaw made a little while ago, so now those directions have the video right attached, or the audio right attached to them. And then when I lock all of that in place, it's ready for the students to use. You can't see it at the moment. My voice recording is over here. It was hiding underneath the pages right there. But if the students click on it, it would come up and they would hear the voice recording. So now I have the recordings for each page. I have the directions for each page. And I am ready to save that. The last thing I haven't done yet is record the directions for the entire activity. And if I wanted to, I could find some kind of multimedia example that would show or explain more about idioms. Okay, so I have my activity finished. Everything's ready and I'm ready to assign it. You do have to assign it to a class before you can copy that link and paste it into Google Classroom. So now I'm going to go to my class, and this is the activity that I have linked. I could have scheduled it instead of just posting it or assigning it. When you click on edit down here, I can change the date and time that that activity is going to be posted. It could be at 9:30 in the morning on the 23rd. I could also decide what folder it's going to go in. If I had a Lexia folder, I could put it here. I could also decide which students are going to get it. This is going to be assigned to all the students in my class, but if you only wanted it for certain students who have finished a Lexia level, then you would click on those names only. And since this is my getting started class, just pretend I don't have any real students. So then once I click save, it is assigned to the class. Even though it's scheduled for later, I can still get what's called a Seesaw student link. So I click on the 3 dots in the activity section of Seesaw. I click on get a student link, and it's going to copy that link. Then I would go to my Google Classroom section, which I haven't used in quite a while, so I hope I have actually a classroom I can use. Training class. And then in here for classwork, I would create an assignment. I would put that link that I copied here, and it would show up as a link right into their Seesaw. The problem is students would have to be signed into Seesaw and have their account active before that link would work. So on here I would put Lexia. I'd give a few more directions, click on save and assign. And then when the students are actually opening that link, it should take them right into the section where they would complete the activity. Since I'm a student in that class, I can click on add a response, and I can be the sample student, and then it would open up directly into the activity that my teacher wanted me to work on. Hopefully this is helpful.